This is Ed, aka Gamer Gramps. This is also Ed, my son. And today he's going to kind of walk through this with me. We're going to take a quick look at my build of the Minutemen Northwest Command. And we'll see what he thinks.
Alright, here we go.
Right. So let me turn this around quick. And the one thing you're going to notice is my frame rate on this is really, really low because we're running an Xbox 360 and I've got an insane number of mods. However, this is the Minutemen Northwest Command headquarters in Sanctuary.
Pretty damn impressive. I like the vertibird up there on the roof.
Well, we'll take a look up there in a moment. I do want to walk around to the front of the building here. This is kind of what people see as they enter Sanctuary.
Damn, there is definitely no mistaking what that thing is.
Yeah, pay close attention to the solar panels on the front of the building there. Notice that they are in the sunlight on this side of the building, and I'll show you later where that ties in at. But you can see it ties into the inside of the building there, right at that little point right there, and that'll become important later. I'll show you what that's doing. So let's walk around and take a look at the Minutemen Northwest Command. So far in my game, the general has created this place and he's built Sanctuary up. He's got a small area right back there that's called the Keep. It's where we try to keep everybody safe. Sort of like an old medieval keep. Everybody can retreat there if needed. But today we're not going to look so much at that. Instead, we're going to look just at the main command center here. So outside, at all times, we have 2 Minutemen standing watch. One always in power armor, ready for some serious action in case something goes down.
Excellent.
The other is usually not a power armor troop, but can be outfitted in power armor if we're on some sort of high alert. Here we've got our entrance door, a nice sturdy steel bunker door. And we'll go ahead and enter the building here. This is actually a receptionist. He is here to ensure that we're safe. Right now he's probably reviewing some sort of orders back there. You can see that we've also liberated a few of these little miniature pop-up turrets in order to keep the lobby here safe at all times. Behind us, we have sort of a little Minutemen exhibition. So, up ahead of us, we actually have Grognak's axe and his costume in the display case. Over here, we have the Mechanist's helmet and armor. Then we've got a little area here where it just says, join the Minutemen, rebuilding the American way of life. You call, we answer. The enlistment poster. Your country needs you. The whole idea being we want to impress people with the Minutemen. And one thing you'll notice is this bottom floor is designed to impress. Everything about it, the place looks nice. It's well maintained. Over here we have a portrait of a gentleman standing in front of a cannon. And what cannon could that be? Well, probably this cannon from the USS Constitution. Over in the corner, we also have a former powder barrel from the Constitution as well that's been liberated and brought here so everybody can see it. And of course, you're going to see Minutemen flags and signs everywhere because we want to keep everybody pumped up that the Minutemen are here. And, it's sort of like post-apocalyptic branding,
Mm-hmm.
So, next, when people come in, they would check in with our receptionist over there. The receptionist has his own computer back there that he can work through things, work through items. Obviously a few weapons here that are usable by that receptionist to defend the area. And a telephone. You're going to notice a lot of telephones in this building because telephones were originally invented in the late 1800s and are probably very easy to repair. Probably pretty simple to get that network back up. So inside of each settlement, telephones have been brought back into use and are used to communicate between the buildings. The command duty officer's office is directly behind this. And here he is. He has a set of surveillance cameras that he can keep an eye on what's going on in Sanctuary and also just outside. Also, it's important that he is able to communicate, so he has his telephone, his terminal. He has access to a ham radio set, so he can communicate with the other settlements throughout the area.
Nice, nice.
We have the Minutemen's Commonwealth map there, showing what settlements we've taken over, that sort of thing. And obviously he has a few weapons, a safe that he can keep extra weapons and ammunition in.
Nice, nice.
And you have to remember, the Minutemen need you. United, we could stand against any foe. So, we also have coffee, because, let's face it, the command duty officer has to be available at all times. So we make sure he has coffee in a nice coffee pot. He also has plenty of cups that he can share with his men as he feels becomes necessary. So if we leave the back area here, you can see this is the restroom for the bottom floor. Pretty Spartan, just a standard toilet, standard urinal. Now in this area, and actually in most Minutemen areas, space is at a premium, so we're not going to have a separate men's and women's restroom. They're just going to share the same restroom. It's very specific, very intelligent design there. And let's face it, there is a door. You can lock it if you have to. It's fine. So, got a first aid kit, some towels here. Everything's ready, and, you know, compared to most places in the wasteland, this would not be a bad place to drop a deuce, you know? So...
Hell, I'd walk for hours just to get to this bathroom in the wasteland.
Right? So, we'll go ahead and close that door. Now, security is very important here inside of the Minutemen compound, so most doors are going to remain locked at all times. For example, this is the security door going into our elevator. And if you look straight in, oh, look at that. We've got everything's laid out nicely and neatly. Second floor is going to be our armory. Third floor, the barracks. And the fourth floor is the general's quarters.
I like it.
So, we're not going to take the elevator because I want to show you everything all the way up the stairs. So, we'll go ahead and close that back up and lock it. Now, obviously, there are going to be times the command duty officer is busy working on cleanup or working with his troops trying to figure out what's going on, right? So, and there's also going to be people who are going to want to come in and talk to the general. And the general is not always going to have time to meet with them immediately. So we do have this waiting area off to the left where people can enjoy a nice Nuka-Cola and read a couple comic books, that sort of thing, and move on with their lives. Off to the left, we have our security room, the guard room, and normally, stationed inside of this room, would be 4 people. The commander of the guard, who would sit at this station, and 3 more Minutemen, who would be stationed here, and just waiting and ready to defend this building by any means necessary. As you can see, we've got plenty of weapons. They also have the same access to the surveillance feed. And of course, the Minutemen security forces have to have their own motto. You know, it's very important that they keep everything safe. And so to do that, of course, vigilance is the price of freedom. I even like how we've got sniper rifles set off to the side. Just kind of waiting, ready to go. and we're going to head up the stairs. Down here at the bottom of the stairs, we have just a standard cleanup area, some brooms,
A little bit of storage under the stairs.
a little bit of storage, you know, just enough to probably keep a little food, that sort of stuff, down here, ready to go. Then we're going to head up the stairs to our second floor where our armory is.
Got the windows lit in a little natural light.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that I put windows on each of the upper floors because you do want that natural light, especially this is the apocalypse. Electricity is at a little bit of a premium, you know. So I wanted to make sure that you had natural light, but I also wanted to make sure there were no windows on the bottom floor in order to keep this building as defensible as possible. So first, off to our right here, we have the heavy weapons locker. Go ahead and open that up. Head on in. As you can see, we have our missile launchers. An entire crate of Fat Man nukes off to our left here. We have several more Fat Man launchers inside. And some Fat Man nukes already set aside. Plus some extras in the crate in individual parts that can be assembled as needed. Now, the Minutemen in this game, in my save here, are specifically ordered to not use the mini nukes unless it is an absolute necessity. Basically, you know, the Commonwealth Wasteland has enough radiation and enough problems. You should be able to defeat just about anything with the number of missiles that we have on hand. But if you're about to lose the building, if you're about to lose Sanctuary altogether, and you're stuck with a behemoth attacking or something like that, obviously you can use it, but that's why it's kept under lock and key. It's only to be used with very special permission of the general or the command duty officer. So, as we come out of the heavy weapons locker, off to our right, we have our small arms locker. As we head on in, you can see we've got quite a bit of weaponry here ready to go.
Definitely.
Including an actual full rifle rack against the wall. Let me just say that putting that in, just putting those guns in place and trying to set that up probably took 2 hours of playing with it to make it work, make it look right. And it's still not perfect, but it looks pretty good. So.
Yeah, it looks damn good. You got all the stuff to maintain and work on the weaponry.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, we've got our full weapons workbench. We keep a number of supplies over here that are ready to go, ready to use, along with quite a bit of ammunition.
Of course, of course.
And back here we have yet another cabinet just chock full of 10mm auto pistols.
Damn.
Ready to go. Each of those individually placed and set to go. I like it. So we're going to go ahead and walk out of this room. Close that door.
I really like the way you have this whole floor set up.
Yeah, I like it too. The one thing I didn't like is the concrete buildings are a little taller than normal wooden buildings or steel buildings.
Yeah.
So if you look up inside of all of these, I actually have these like prison bars up over the top, and that is so that somebody can't, let's say, get here and just climb up and over the security fencing and get inside. So.
Damn concrete walls.
Right. The concrete walls also made it so it was a pain to get the elevator in here.
Right.
Yeah, because the elevators don't match up. They match up with the warehouse buildings. So It just makes it tough to get everything to match up, and that's actually why you see. I'll show you in this next room. We'll unlock this. This is the ordnance room.
No smoking in the ordnance room.
Oh, of course, no smoking. Danger. Highly flammable. And you'll notice the restricted area signs on everything in here. Unauthorized personnel keep out. The orders that have been given to the Minutemen are, if someone is in this area unauthorized, it's shoot to kill, instantly. So, we'll go ahead and step into the ordnance room here. Several crates full of weapons, bottle cap mines along the wall, and a number of mines and grenades up against this back wall. Even this rather large bomb. I don't know what the Minutemen are going to use it for, but if it becomes necessary, it could probably be wired up to destroy this building if necessary to keep it from falling into enemy hands. The reason this building is created out of concrete is because concrete is very easily accessible throughout the Commonwealth. It seems like every vendor's carrying concrete, you know? And so I just thought, if I were going to build what I would think is the quintessential base of a military unit, wouldn't you want to have reinforced concrete? Of course you would. So I don't do this with many of my buildings, but this one I definitely do. So we're going to head out here. Close and lock our doors because security is paramount. Next, we're going to go into our power armory.
Ah, I was wondering what those garage doors are for.
Yeah.
So you can just deploy straight out of here, like straight out of the front of the building.
Exactly.
Wow. That is...
And I wanted to make sure that you could put the power armor out without ever having to open the lower doors and open yourself up to attack. So instead, the power armor is kept up here in the individual bays. You'll notice that there are 3 suits of power armor up here. Why is that? Well, because our 4th suit is out on our guard in front of the building.
Excellent.
So, in case the area gets attacked, basically you run up here, flip the switch to open the door, run over, enter your power armor, throw your fusion core in, pony up and get ready. Then instantly run out, and you are ready to go. Instant defense.
Hell yeah.
We'll quickly run upstairs and put this away. Make sure the power armor is stowed correctly. As you can see, we also have our power armor workbench right there, ready to go. Plenty of tools, plenty of lubricants, wonder glue, duct tape, oil, everything you need to maintain the power armor, all inside here, ready to go at a moment's notice. So what do you think so far?
So far, I'm pretty damn impressed.
Cool. All right, so we're going to head upstairs. This is our 3rd floor. This is the barracks area. And first thing you see as soon as you get up here are these almost brand spanking new washer and dryer. those were actually obtained from the hardware store. I forget where it is, but someplace inside of the Commonwealth, there's a hardware store. And I figure all those that were still inside there are clean, good washer and dryer, that sort of thing. Haven't really been touched since the apocalypse hit. So might as well go ahead and grab those, bring them back here, and an individual who's assigned laundry duty, let's face it, hard work is happy work, right? And so those people stay out here and do the laundry. There's also a little bit of a cleaning area here.
I think that really speaks volumes about the manufacturer. 200 years old, runs like new.
Right? Perfect. And it cleans up good, too. I mean, let's face it, that's good. That's very classy styling there. And that poor guy that does the laundry, he also has some ironing to do, so pretty rough. Anyway, then we've got a gym. You got to keep those Minutemen in good shape. And so they can come in here, pump some iron. They need to stay fit and stay focused, and they need to remember that we're stronger together. A couple towels for them. Now, this is the actual barracks room where the Minutemen that are assigned to this building stay. There's 8 Minutemen assigned at any given time. And these Minutemen switch out with other Minutemen that are in Sanctuary, given based on what's going on and that sort of thing. So, obviously, they can take some time off and relax. They've got some checkers they can play, or they can play a great game of Blast Radius, the board game, right? And notice that there are 8 lockers in here, 1 locker for each person that's assigned to this building, and they are allowed to put up some of their own decorations. Like this gentleman appears to be a little bit enamored with the Nuka-Cola girl, and this guy likes the Vim. This other guy down here doesn't seem like he's as committed to the cause because he thinks it's all one way and a dead end for him. So, and that's okay. Got a little bit of armor in the back. But they are all told to keep their areas clean and tidy at all times. And you'll notice this is not kind of like the armory downstairs. It's still nice. It's very nice compared to almost any place else you could stay in the Commonwealth. But it's not as nice as it is down on the first floor. The reason for that is because you're already a Minuteman. We're not trying to impress you. Now, right here you can see these little kind of blocks that are above the concrete blocks. That's how I extended this out so that it would be the right height for the elevators.
Just little risers.
Yeah, they're little risers. It actually comes from the Vanilla Extensions mod, so kind of nice. Does a great job there. Oh, I guess one other thing that I'll point out while we're here, just because I kind of like how it worked out. Do you notice that all the electricity that's inside of the building is all run through conduits? So the conduits, you'll see them throughout the building, but I just thought something to show, because I like how it looks. It really puts the place together, makes it look like a real building would. Yeah, exactly. On the outside, I mean, there's some wires in the building, but for the most part, it's just where the conduit has to connect. So, the people that are staying here in this place, they need someplace to go to the restroom, take care of themselves. So here we go. This is their restroom. You can see we've got some towels here. We've got a couple of showers. Let's hope the game didn't just lock up here. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So a couple of showers here where they can pull the curtain, have a little bit of privacy. Everything's all good. And then if we come around here, oh, look. Looks like a Minuteman stepped away while he was cleaning the toilets. You got to keep it clean because, cleanliness is godliness, so it's all good. The sort of the same setup that we've got downstairs. A urinal, a toilet. Basically, men and women share the same area inside the Minutemen buildings, and the reason for that is because, space is at a premium. You have to keep people safe, but sometimes you have to give up a little bit so that you can enjoy the safety and security of the building. Out here, if you are serving with the Minutemen, we take care of our people. So as you can see, we've got a commissary here and buffet style eating. People can come out, grab whatever food they would like. Each of these items, the sugar bombs, the cram, all this stuff, was placed individually. And
What?
yeah, every single item
That is insane.
I put out there. Well, and this is not even that bad. In a minute, you'll see something really crazy, and it's, well, I'll show you in a minute. So, and of course, it shows the diner. You can see that we just have another open space to the elevator again, you know, and that way deliveries of food or whatever can be brought straight up. Over here, we've got the firing range. Because let's face it, if you're a Minuteman, you better be able to hit the target. And so, if you come in here, we actually have two separate targets you can fire at. We got one of the small ones down there on the side, and if you shoot at that one and hit it, the counter goes up down on the side over there.
That is
Right?
pretty
That way you
cool.
can keep track of your hits. Otherwise, you can also shoot at the silhouette. That doesn't do anything else. But you can also see that we put those backstops behind the targets to make sure that we wouldn't have any flying shrapnel or anything like that. So, put the gun away. We've had our fun. Shooting range is not available in the middle of the night, obviously. Got people sleeping here, people. This is the dining area for the buffet. People can come out here, go ahead and relax, have a drink, have something to eat. We also, of course, provide coffee for our men. Right here at the end of the counter, we've got a coffee maker and, of course, just a pitcher with water so that the guys can grab a drink. It is important that Minutemen learn how to clean up after themselves. So back here we have a sink. Here's some dirty dishes, but you can see that using Abraxo, the approved cleaner of the wasteland, you can take dirty dishes like these and clean them up. Next, we're going to take a look at the infirmary. This is where a medic is always on duty in order to take care of those 8 guys that are assigned to this building. Now, normally, this guy's only going to be here for bumps, bruises, scrapes, that kind of thing. But the other reason he's assigned to this building is if the building comes under siege. So if Sanctuary is lost and the building is under siege, he needs to be able to provide medical care for the defense forces of the building. So let's go on in and take a look. We're going to look to the right first because when I want to kind of capture his face when I show him what's to the left. So we've got a small sink here with a trash can underneath. That way he can clean himself up. We got some soap and a microscope. He's got a computer so he can keep logs of everything. A couple of patient files right there. We do have a gurney patient bed back here, where apparently the last guy who came in needed a little bit of Radaway. So there you go. That's all set up. We also have a wheelchair so that if somebody is injured badly and can't walk in here, we can take the wheelchair out to grab them. And of course, that's the beauty of having an elevator in the building.
Yeah,
because
accessible.
Exactly. You can take care of that. We also have some fresh water here in the water cooler. But this is...
Oh, what? Is this all hand stacked?
This is all hand stacked. Actually, there is a really cool mod called OC Decorator. And so I used a little bit of that, but OC Decorator, you still have to hand stack each item. And then another one that I've used in some other spots is, Do It Yourself, and it puts stuff on a shelf for you. That was used upstairs in the main small arms armory. You could see that, and there were a couple other spots where I had it. This was all hand stacked, and then each of the items that was put down was put in place and then locked in place using the Place Anywhere mod. And you can see we've got a surgical scalpel. We've got a couple of these trays with tools ready to go in case somebody is injured and needs some help. You can also see there's a ton of antiseptic, extra clean scalpels, all the Radaway you could probably need for several people in here. some Rad-X down at the bottom, and also just blood packs galore.
Blood packs for days.
Exactly. And of course, a telephone. That way we can notify the infirmary here if we've got incoming wounded, that sort of thing. Let's go ahead and close that. And we're going to head upstairs to the final floor. Well, I shouldn't say the final floor. The final interior floor.
So you have stuff outside as well?
Oh, yeah, the roof.
Oh, right, the vertebrate.
Yeah, the vertebrate. Trying to do the slow pan and make everything look nice. Hats off to Evil Viking 13. I love his stuff. I love his General Dave stuff. And that's kind of, imitation is the best form of flattery, right? So that's sort of where I got the idea for this walkthrough with my son. I've often shared stuff with him before, but I just thought it would be cool to videotape it and see what other people think. So anyway, so the next place we're going to go into is up here. This is the 4th floor. This is the General's quarters. Now, the General actually still has his original house inside of the keep and sanctuary. Mm-hmm. That's really where he spends most of his, if he's sleeping, that's where he sleeps at, that sort of thing. But if during his command duties, there are times that he has to have a nice office, or there are times that he meets with dignitaries or traders that are from outside of the sanctuary area, and this is where he would meet them at. And much like the 1st floor, you want to make sure you impress. So, therefore, you have to make sure that you've got nice, beautiful hardwood floors ready to go.
Nice. Big blazing Minuteman sign on the wall there.
Well, of course, you've got to impress, right? So, again, we've got some very nice stuff here. A few pictures of historical Minutemen. What's happened with them. Notice that even though the elevator on the other 2 floors does not really have any security to it, on this floor there is a security door that is locked, and only with a key can you get into this area. And it's also protected by a couple of laser turrets here, just in case somebody bypasses security. Now on the wall here, I have got the closest thing that I could come up to with a pool cue rack.
Of the Minuteman symbol, right? Is that what we were going for?
Well, it looks like the Minuteman symbol, but really it was just, I was trying to get something where I could put pool cues and have them stand upright and look right, And so it's not too bad. Got 3 pool cues there, and we've got the pool ball rack. So I think that looks pretty good, and very, I think it's lore friendly that you could just cut one of those crates off and attach it to the wall and put whatever you need there. So anyway, I think that looks pretty nice. We've got our pool table here. And of course, that way you can play a game of billiards and maybe talk with traders and dignitaries from other places. Have the mayor of Diamond City over just to hang out, shoot some pool, talk a little bit. And while you're doing that, maybe you're trying to get a little information out of them. Why not offer him a little something to drink, And sure, you can have some booze, but why not also have some emergency drinking water, that sort of stuff. Make sure that whatever he needs, it's here for him, right?
There you go.
And then as we walk through the rest of the area, we've restored the original holotape player that was in my house downstairs and brought it up here so that you could listen to the old original holotapes if necessary. Some of the artwork on the wall here from Evil Viking 13's Minutemen Morale mod. It's very nice stuff. Looks good. I appreciate it more than you will probably ever know there, General Dave. So, let's walk back here. Here we have our conference room where the leadership of the Minutemen meet to discuss plans, strategies, that sort of thing. And we use the projector to project a map of the Commonwealth on the wall so that we can point out points of interest and figure out what we're going to do as far as attacks go. Over to the left here, we have got a small office area with the general's computer, numerous holotapes sitting out, of course, a picture of the wife from before the war, and even a picture of my great-grandfather, my great-great-great-grandfather, serving in World War II. Of course, I get coffee because, let's face it, a general without coffee, he gets cranky.
Yeah, that's a cranky general.
Exactly, so that's not good. The general also, has several file cabinets with information gleaned from the rest of the Commonwealth, as well as some weapons. Again, telephone's very important. You want to make sure that you are in communication as needed at all times. Now, you saw the bathroom downstairs, and of course, that one was pretty nice. The bathroom on the first floor was made to impress. This one is specifically for the general and for his close advisors who might be up here during a conference to use. So, it is the finest materials. We used actual ceramic floor tiling that we were able to scrounge up from that same hardware store. A toilet, a urinal, and also, of course, a sink. Now, this vault sink and the one on the first floor were both taken from Vault 111. I should say, liberated from Vault 111 so that they could be used here. And then as we go around the corner, obviously the general is not going to go down and shower with the troops, so he's got his own separate shower set up and built in here, ready to go. With, of course, all of his own toothbrush, towels, toothpaste, and everything else. So next, the general, being that he's the general, and he's noticed that there are a lot of radio stations, but no television stations in the Commonwealth. So, when the general went and cleared the Hubris Comics area, he saw that there were some television broadcasting equipment. So he had it brought back here so that he can actually address the people of the Commonwealth here.
Nice.
And that's what he does. He's got his own separate television studio. And he can keep the people of the Commonwealth informed of issues, incidents, things that are going on. Let's face it, you run into a lot of televisions in the Commonwealth that are still operational, still working,
but
nothing's ever on them, right? And this is what the general does. Make sure he uses that. Basically, he does a broadcast to everybody in the Commonwealth once a week to let them know of the latest Minuteman successes, that sort of thing. However, if there was a time of emergency, he could also broadcast out emergency instructions to some of the other Minutemen settlements.
Nice.
Let people know what's going on.
Rebuilding America.
Oh, of course. Very important. Finally, we have the Minutemen's, the General's headquarters. I'm sorry, the General's quarters. Like I said, normally the General would be oversleeping in his house because that's where he feels most comfortable. That's where he was before the whole apocalypse came raining down on everybody. But this is where he would stay. First of all, if the building was under siege and he couldn't get out, he would stay here. The other thing that he might do is, if he had a late night, he was talking with the other commanders, trying to figure out things, and just a little tired, this would just be a place where he could go and rest and relax. He's got a full set of books, including some ammunition up on the shelf over there, and just a spot where he can sit and read. Off to the right, he's got his own dresser. Of course, the latest book that he's reading, just a standard overdue book that he found while out in the Commonwealth. Always wakes up and looks straight at the Minuteman symbol and knows what he's fighting for. Finally, he has his own bed and a footlocker, as well as weapons in easy reach so that he can defend himself should the building come under attack. Nice, cozy little quarters. Now, we'll show you the last item of import in this on this floor, and that is this. You can see there's a danger electrical hazard sign here. This room is very important. If this building is cut off from electricity anywhere else, you saw that there are solar panels outside. But solar panels are only going to provide light. It's, provide power as long as they've got sunlight on them. Well, in order to allow for the building to still have power, this is the auxiliary power station. And inside of here, we've got these makeshift batteries that have been put together to make a battery generator. So basically, the solar power outside charges the batteries. Even during the night, these generators provide enough power to keep all of the defensive systems inside the building off the grid, so to speak, and still keep them powered under an emergency situation.
Neat.
All right, so finally, let's head up to the top of the building. Kind of show you a little bit of what's going on up there. First of all, I love the view from up here. I think it looks very good. Get a nice feel for sanctuary and everything.
Wow.
But
Newly repaired roofs on all the buildings.
yeah, I guess you haven't seen that yet. So we've got up on the building, we have a vertibird. This vertibird was repaired with parts from several other vertibirds that were scavenged throughout the Commonwealth. So most of this vertibird came from the vertibird that's crashed over by the salvage yard, the old robot salvage yard. There's a vertibird that's crashed over there, one of the places where I got armor from. And then also some from I believe one was up on the highway near Grey Garden. So anyway, those parts were brought back together and brought here. And so this is the Minutemen's first fully functional vertibird, ready to go. And you'll notice it doesn't have a weapon mounted. The reason for that, I want to discourage my guys from taking this into combat. This vertibird currently is used for the personal travel of the general himself and for reconnaissance missions only. It's not to engage in combat directly. Off to the side here you see, now it is possible that if the general's vertibird was gone for some reason, someone else might try to land an unauthorized vertibird up here. And if they did, we've got 2 heavy laser turrets and a machine gun turret, which should be able to bring down that vertibird rather quickly. And finally, we also have our own radar dish, just to keep an eye on incoming airborne targets. And also, this is the television antenna that is broadcasting the signal for the television station. Now, the actual antenna for the town, the settler recruiting antenna, is across town over there on top of the town hall.
Nice.
And I even like how this has the strobe lights
going around.
blink in to show
Jeez.
where the landing area is and everything else.
This place is just unbelievable. You really thought of everything.
Well, I tried to. Actually, my other son, Harrison, was originally I just had this open. He said, well, you can't just have that open. It's going to rain down into the area. And I was up against the build limit here, but I was able to put this up. And that actually kind of looks like what you might throw on top of a concrete building. After you've got everything else built, you're like, okay, I think we're going to use this, so. So anyway, do you have any comments, anything that you were like, wow, that was the best part of this whole thing?
Well, I don't know. I really liked the medic's office, but I'd say the thing that impressed me most was the armory floor. Just the way everything's set up in there, and The gun rack was just unbelievable, and I don't know. I just like the whole setup. And as somebody that's played Fallout and experimented trying to build something, you know, I don't even know if I can put it in the same sort of realm as something like this. But as somebody who's, you know, tried to build something mildly similar, it a lot of this is just like way too much to take in. Like, how long would you say you spent on
This probably took me, probably 24 hours of gameplay, easily. And that was without harvesting materials or anything like that.
Just straight up build time?
Just straight up build time, yeah. And a lot of it was, there was some trial and error. There were some times where I would get out of the game. When I came back into it, something would drop into the floor, so then I had to grab it, move it back up again, and all that. So there was a lot of frustration, but overall, I think it's really paid off. The biggest problems now are, obviously, I still have a lot more of Sanctuary to build here. I mean, I've got roofs on buildings, but really, I've got a lot that still needs to go into completing Sanctuary, and my frame rates are already so low. I don't know if it's gonna, if I'm just gonna crash the game every time I try to load or what. And there have been a lot of times too that I would, you know, I try to save the game on a regular basis. Sometimes it doesn't work out, so you know, there are times where you try to exit to save the game, and then all of a sudden the game locks up, and I just lost 2 or 3 hours worth of work, because it literally takes me 5 minutes to enter the workshop mode. So I don't like going out and then trying to come back in, but you've got to do it sometimes. So yeah, this I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm hopeful that you watching this right now, that you guys will also find it interesting and cool, and maybe want to do something similar for yourselves. I don't know if you noticed, but up there, I even have like concrete supports that are holding up that back end so it can take the weight of a vertebrate.
This is just overall, I'd say every aspect of it, every floor has something that just makes you go, holy buckets. Because I mean, the garage doors for the power armor. I mean, just when they think they're gonna take the building, death from above, just raining power armor.
That's one other thing. I wish I had put the power armor bay on the top of the building. That way, it always does the superhero landing when you jump out.
Yeah,
you can get it to do it. You can jump up from the second floor, but it doesn't do it all the time, which is kind of sad. So, but I thought that would be the coolest, is just have these 4 power armor suits just drop down on you, wham, and they just instantly come up and start killing people off. I just thought that would be the coolest thing on the planet. But
well, I mean, you wouldn't even have to worry about killing them at that point. I mean, you have 4 suits of power armor drop from the sky and shake the ground. At that point, you just shit yourself and die. It's no problem at that point.
I hear you. Well, cool. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this.
Absolutely.
And we'll try it again sometime.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
Thanks, folks.
I love you
See
guys.
Ya.